for none now live.
Hey, we need to tell the projectionist there's sound but no picture. Oh.
So the screen is black for too long? Why is that a sin?
One ring to rule them all.
So wait, the One Ring is supposed to control everyone who wore the other rings, right? We're told later that the race of men were turned into the Nazgul, but it didn't affect the elves and dwarves at all? Apparently Sauron put on his ring.
Sadly, the explanation's not in the films, it's in the Silmarillion, and they didn't have any rights to adapt anything from the Silmarillion, which is a shame, because otherwise a character could have said that the dwarven rings didn't work as Sauron could not properly comprehend the desires of a dwarf, and so he couldn't control them with the rings. And as for the elves knew about the One Ring, and never wore their own 3 rings while Sauron had control of the one, meaning their 3 rings remained uncorrupted and usable. Yeah, it's a shame nothing of this was in the film. But it's not a sin that they didn't get the rights to the Silmarillion. You can't blame Fellowship for that.
What the f*** is Sauron reaching for? Just kill the guy!
You know that Sauron's quite cruel, right? You don't think he'd want to torment the man whose father and king he'd just murdered? Why is that a sin?
You have this huge mace for killing! Reading.
Wait, what? Fucking hell.
Reading.
Why is this a sin?
And I don't expect I shall return. In fact, I mean not to.
After Bilbo's unnerving proclamation, Gandalf apparently said, "Dude, you need to smoke some weed."
Again, why is that a sin? Why is this a problem with the film? Can you go into more detail? No, you don't.
Turn them all to stone.
Bilbo then said, "Kids, I'll tell part 2 of this story next year, and I'll finally finish it the year after that, because even short stories are best when told in trilogies."
So why is this a problem with Fellowship of the Ring? You can't blame Fellowship for the Hobbit movies being a trilogy. No points. No points for you.
When you see Gandalf magically transport like this, don't you...
So Gandalf did not actually teleport. See how tall he is compared to Bilbo? Gandalf's long legs means he walks faster than Bilbo. Gandalf also saw all of Bilbo's maps, so he knew Bilbo's planning to leave. So when Bilbo goes invisible, Gandalf knows to beat him home and wait for him there, because Bilbo will be coming back for his belongings. How can you not comprehend that?
You wonder why he doesn't use magic more often in crucial spots during the trilogy?
Any examples for when he should have used magic? No.
What about this ring of yours? Is that staying too?
It's in an envelope over there on the mantelpiece.
Gandalf should probably know that that's not true because Bilbo had no time to put it in an envelope, but he goes over to the mantelpiece expecting to find it anyway.
So actually, no, because, see here. So right here, when Bilbo goes behind Gandalf's back and Gandalf can't see him, Bilbo could have stopped and put the ring on the mantelpiece while Gandalf had his back turned. Now, we know he didn't, but Gandalf cannot see him. He could have turned around and put the ring on the mantelpiece.
Anyway, what the f*** was Frodo doing for the last 20 minutes after Bilbo disappeared?
Looking for Bilbo at the party?
Looking for Bilbo in places other than Bilbo's house?
Why would Frodo assume Bilbo went straight home when the party was still in full swing?
Gandalf sees the freaking eye of Sauron when he stupidly tries to touch the ring, but yet...
Stupidly tries to touch the ring? What do you mean by that?
He still needs to do research to figure out what the ring is.
Yes, he does need to do more research. He's aware there's something up with the ring, but he doesn't know what, so he goes on to Gondor to research it.
Doesn't he have more than enough information at this point to give Frodo a head start before the ring wraiths show up?
No, clearly not. Did you even watch this scene properly? The ring makes Gandalf inquisitive, so he travels to Gondor to research it. And when he realizes it's the One Ring, he rushes back. That's the whole point.
This is the only time in the movie where the Nazgul just straight up murder a dude.
No, it's not. They murder the gatekeeper in Bree, and possibly for the same reason, as he's a witness.
This could have been the guy who knew all things Baggins, and they just destroyed their best lead.
Could have been, maybe, but no sin.
Yes, Pippin! My point is, he's clearly overreacting.
I guess Farmer Maggot gave up? Or at the very least his side did?
Or, they outran him. It's a big field.
Get off the road! Quick!
Convenient hiding tree is convenient.
Ah, yes, a tree in the woods. How convenient. I don't think you know what convenient means.
Also, this one of the 9 is terrible at his job. Isn't the ring supposedly calling to Sauron? I mean, why is he even sniffing? If his nose worked, he clearly would smell the hobbits, or the ring. If the Nazgul...
I guess this scene is just to build tension, so I think this is your first criticism that is somewhat accurate. You're 1 out of 14. However, did you feel tense the first time you watched it? Because if you did, then the scene worked.
Feet in front of their faces, why didn't Gandalf just find a container for the ring that he could magically seal, or at least lock, and throw away the key so no one could get into it? Frodo wouldn't be tempted to wear it, and no one could possibly detect it, and the road to Mordor becomes that much easier.
There's no evidence of magic being able to create a magic box. Also, I feel a magic box would be easier to lose than a ring on a chain around your neck, because you'd need a really deep pocket or a sturdy bag at least. Having the ring around your neck and under mithril mail seems safer than a box in a bag.
Then he falls for the old toss something to distract the bad guy trick from every other movie ever. It went...
Yes, and he's distracted. Well, enemies are not allowed to be distracted by other noises.
from day to night pretty fast here, but maybe that much time has really passed in this case. So if that's true, has the Ring Wraith been chasing the hobbits for several hours without making one bit of headway?
Yes. Yes, he has.
And only now are Merry and Pippin asking what the hell is going on? That...
Yes, as now they're far enough away to be able to talk without being heard. Are you paying attention?
guy doesn't like water cliché. Peter...
What? Is that really a cliche? Characters are scared of water, and that's in other films. Even though the books were written in the 1940s before the supposed cliched amount of characters being afraid of water. Yeah, no points.
Jackson tries to one-up M. Night and Hitchcock by gnawing on a carrot during his director's cameo.
And what's the point of that?
Ring can will itself to land perfectly on Frodo's finger, then why the can't it just will itself to fly off into the air and roll its happy way back to Mordor?
Is that a legitimate question? The ring's shown no evidence of being able to fly or roll by itself. Sure, it does some magical things to land on Frodo's finger, but that does not mean the ring can fly or roll.
How did Sam, Merry, and Pippin know Frodo was up here? They didn't call out to Frodo when he reappeared downstairs, so were they just running around crashing into every closed door until they finally ran into Frodo?
Okay, so you clearly didn't watch the scene properly, because there are 4 beds. There's a good chance this is their room. But also, look, the hobbits are armed, so obviously they did see Aragorn and followed him, and then they went to get weapons before bursting in. Did you even think about the scene at all?
At all times they feel the presence of the ring, drawn to the power of the One.
Until it's convenient for them not to be drawn to it.
No. So they have a rough idea where the ring is by asking people for information.
There's no Baggins around here. They're all up in Hobbit.
When Frodo uses the ring, that's when they really lock onto its position. Clearly, as shown in this scene.
If you look really hard, you can see Tom Bombadil in this shot.
Another useless comment. Why is that a sin?
Either you don't care if Gandalf dies, in which case just kill him, or you want to keep him alive for some reason, in which case don't put him in a prison that basically anyone would die in at the first thunderstorm.
But as you see, Gandalf's head is not the highest point, and Gandalf doesn't own a cell phone, so another irrelevant sin.
I know the hobbits are here for comic relief, for the most part, at least early on, but damn, nobody is anywhere near that stupid to light a fire on a tower at night when you're hiding from supernatural hunting machines. Nobody.
But the hobbits still don't fully understand the threat, and they're cold and hungry. Surely they're allowed to make mistakes like this.
Also, Strider says he's just going to have a look around when he leaves the hobbits. Where did he go and how far away? He didn't see the fire immediately and start running back to slap all the hobbits for starting one?
Well, if you, again, look at the scene.
Hobbits are here for comic...
So this is Amon Sul, and the fire's that little spot there. So what if Aragorn was on the other side of Amon Sul? Did you think about that before complaining? No, clearly not.
After we've seen them straight up murder people for asking who goes there, the Nazgul finally find the hobbits and decide to go into a slow attack formation so that Strider can show up in time to save the day.
Or the Nazgul approach slowly so there's no chance that Frodo can slip away.
Oh, these bad guys are afraid of water and fire. Wow, so Earth is like the only major element they're not afraid of?
A Númenorian ranger is swinging a flaming torch around. The villains are allowed to back away.
He's been stabbed by a Morgul blade.
You know, the kind that dissolve dramatically after you identify it?
Or they dissolve when handled by a non-Nazgul. Can you try and think about these critiques before you say them?
Do you know the Athelas plant? Athelas? Kingsfoil.
kings for a lot of weed.
Weed is the answer to everything.
No, that's not a sin.
Ah, I see. Elf horses have turbo mode.
Yes, and?
Well, we're only an hour in, but it's already clear that good old H2O is the real hero of Middle-earth.
Is the sin supposed to be that they conveniently came across another river? Oh, a river in the woods, how convenient. Or are you trying to sin that the Nazgul should not be afraid of water?
Arwen has the ability to summon a tsunami of water horses. What a strangely specific ability.
And why is that a sin?
Aquila ex machina.
No, it's not.
Is there really nothing that Saruman can do about the eagle?
No.
Isn't he a powerful wizard? Doesn't he cause a f***ing avalanche from hundreds of miles away later in the movie?
So he lightning strikes a static target.
He spins Gandalf around and closes doors with his mind, but an eagle is
Yes, because Gandalf is really close when he moves him around.
just too tall of an order.
Because clearly the eagle is too far away and moving. If it was an immovable mountain, I'm sure Saruman could easily do something. But because it's moving, he clearly can't.
Destroy it!
So Elrond knows this is a ring of supreme evil. All the evil in the world can be ended by throwing the ring in the fire, but he lets Isildur go without a fight. He could have thrown him into the fire and then ran out screaming, "Oh no, Isildur fell into the fire. Whatever will we do? Oh, the humanity."
Why doesn't Elrond cowardly murder Isildur from behind, then lie and say he fell? Hopefully the way I worded this is enough of an explanation for why the Honourable Elrond would not just murder the King of Men. Why are you so bad at comprehension? Why would Elrond want to murder Isildur? Do you realise the political ramifications that would have?
You have my sword.
And you have my bow.
And my axe.
You mean the axe you just shattered while trying to destroy the ring?
No, the other axes he uses throughout the films. You fucking idiot.
You shall be the Fellowship of the Ring.
Roll credits.
Ah yes, your long-running gag of, they said the movie title and that's bad. Shut up.
Oh, wait. Where did they get sausages? Did they make them themselves out here in the wild? Or are they carrying raw meat casings for 40 days without refrigeration and then eating them?
So maybe they did make them, or... You know, maybe you're right. Maybe they shouldn't have sausages. In which case, I'll give you that point. So you're now 2 for 39.
So, Gandalf, you tried to lead them over Garadras.
These birds have no f***ing clue that that's where Gandalf decided to go. They flew past them. They may have seen them go run and hide, but they weren't around to hear Gandalf say where they were going to go next.
So clearly Saruman knows what a map looks like and is deducing where the Fellowship is going. How can you be this bad faith?
Let's go through the mines of Moria. Let the ring bearer decide.
What a cop-out.
Why? Gandalf clearly knows Moria is dangerous.
No, Gimli. I would not take the road to Moria unless I had no other choice.
But all the hobbits are struggling in the snow, so why not let the ring bearer decide? Fucking clown. Can you actually watch the movie?
How does Gimli not know about this? Or Gandalf? This obviously happened a long time ago. Sure, there's no internet or phones, but word should have traveled faster than this.
So Gandalf does know about it. Did you already forget about this scene?
Moria, you fear to go into those mines.
Hobbits over here on the left give no indication whatsoever that a cave troll is about to peek around the corner.
No, look. They're clearly readying themselves to attack it.
Why isn't Frodo's blade glowing right now? Are all the orcs dead?
Another point. Frodo's sword should indeed be glowing, as the orcs are not all dead. You're now 3 for 44. Well done.
Or right now? Right now there's definitely some orcs close enough to call...
Yeah, you're not getting 2 points for the same sin. 3 out of 44 still stands.
Cause that blade to glow blue, right? Gandalf said it was a 4-day trip through the mines, but it takes the Fellowship like a couple of hours, if that, to get...
Does it? We don't truly know the exact time it took to travel through Moria. It could have been days. Just because it's edited down does not mean it was only a few hours. Why would Gandalf lie about the time?
to the other side.
It's a 4-day journey to the other side.
8 that are here, yet 9 there were set out from Rivendell. Tell me, where is Gandalf?
Dude, this movie is 3 hours. Couldn't you just ask where Gandalf is right off the bat?
The movie is long. Speak faster. Shut up. Also, Fellowship is just shy of 4 hours. Wait, are you watching the theatrical cut?
For the mirror shows many things.
Why would the mirror show his friends making troubled glances? What can be learned from that?
Because he's learning about the ring's influencing abilities.
I could have told you that.
From your previous critiques, clearly not.
He will try to take the ring. You know of whom I speak.
I'd love to tell you which person by name, but I'm afraid he'll hear this telepathic communication that only you can hear.
But Frodo does know who Galadriel's talking about, because Boromir is the only one we have seen to be affected by the ring. Do you not remember this scene at all? You know who Galadriel's talking about. Why are you lying?
Not dark, but beautiful and terrible as the dawn!
Terrible as the dawn? The f is that supposed to mean? Oh.
Honestly, I don't know. But you're not getting a point for the question, as you didn't even attempt to find meaning yourself. You just complained.
Oh, now it's glowing again, and long before the orcs are even in view.
Well, so, wait, the sword is now working as intended. Why is that a sin? You can't just sin it for not working and then sin it for working. You were correct earlier in Moria, but now Sting's working again. Why is that a sin, you fucking goblin?
The Uruk-hai throws a shield at Aragorn's neck that has a neck-sized hole at the end of it.
Yes, again, a scene for tension. Did you not feel tense the first time you watched it? You're not getting a point.
Frodo screams and stares at a drowning Sam for several seconds before helping him.
Yes, several seconds. It takes Frodo several seconds to realize Sam is drowning before he helps him. Why is that a sin? You're just commentating on what happens.
Geez, how deep can a hobbit reach into the water from a boat?
So he's leaning over the side. Clearly. Okay, so... that's it for Fellowship. So, for Fellowship, you attempted 53 sins, and only 3 were adequate. And they were... The Nazgul should probably have smelt the hobbits. This sausage meat might be old, and Sting should have remained blue in Moria. But, in hindsight, I'm not going to count the sniffing or the old sausage, as they seem so minuscule they don't deserve to be sins. Sting not remaining blue is a legitimate minor editing issue, and that can remain as the only point in your favour. So you're actually only 1 for 53.
Previously on Lord of the Rings.
Is that another joke? Why is that a sin?
Middle-earth rules say that a falling wizard can catch up to his falling sword and a falling Balrog even when those things have a 20-second head start.
Yes, because Gandalf is using a thing called aerodynamics to speed himself up.
He hates them.
I know Gollum's not exactly smart, but why would he talk so loudly to himself if he's trying to actually sneak up on the hobbits and surprise them?
You just answered your own question by saying Gollum is not smart.
Get down!
Sam is addicted to golems.
Yes, and
the union of the 2 towers.
Roll credits.
Oh, shut up.
Looks like meat's back on the menu, boys.
Looks like meat is back on the menu for about 10 orcs. The other ones in the background appear to be happy with their maggoty bread.
Yeah, and?
No one's gonna save you now.
There is no way that one of the riders of Rohan was able to throw his spear from this distance to kill a crouching orc.
Yes, actually, it is possible to throw a spear into a crowd of orcs and hit one. It's just lucky it hit this exact orc. That should be your main point, about how lucky the shot is that it saved Merry and Pippin.
Make it look like the character died when 90% of the audience knows he didn't die, cliché.
No, actually, they didn't make it look like Pippin died. They made it look like he's about to die, which is true, because he would have died, but he rolled away. Is it a cliché for a character to be in danger, you fucking clown?
A red sun rises. Blood has been spilled this night.
Is Legolas serious? So every time blood spills, a red sun rises? So there should be a red sun for like at least half the trilogy, right?
Maybe there is. Also, why is that a sin? Is it a sin because you didn't like the world building?
I would cut off your head, dwarf, if it stood but a little higher from the ground.
You would die before your stroke fell.
I know we need to establish that Legolas has become a blood brother to Gimli, but this is way out of line for his character, and stupid. I mean, is this Legolas Skywalker?
Why is it out of character? Eomer threatened Gimli, Legolas defended him. If you want to call his actions stupid, then Eomer's comment was just as stupid in terms of a fuck around and find out moment, as Gimli just asked for Eomer's name, then Eomer threatens him, and Legolas defends Gimli's honor. Also, don't you fucking dare compare TLJ to Lord of the Rings.
Are no spies.
The first clue should have been when we hailed you while your backs were turned and we had no reason to give away our position.
CinemaSins fails to understand the scene cliché, as Aimer's comment about spies was directed specifically at Legolas, as an insult for Legolas threatening to shoot him. Man, I don't know if you're malicious or retarded.
Instead of asking the writers if they remember killing people as memorable as hobbits, or if they even remember stacking two small, childlike creatures who don't look one bit like orcs on the death pile, Eamer chooses the all I remember is that everybody died story to keep us in quote-unquote suspense.
Aimer says this because they left none alive, and as we'll see, the riders never saw Merry or Pippin because they fled into Fangorn Forest while the fight was still going on.
In 5 seconds, Gimli finds a hobbit belt in an orc stack.
So you would have liked to watch Gimli searching in the stack for a few minutes? What's the problem with cutting to when Gimli finds something?
I agree that Aragorn is this badass ranger dude, but the Hobbit's tracks should have long been trampled over by horses and men dragging dead orcs to the flaming death mound.
So again, you answered your own question. Aragorn is a bard. Aragorn is a great ranger and can use his abilities to follow the tracks. That's the point of Aragorn's skill.
First off, the Nazgul really need to stop shrieking and giving away their position. Secondly, you tracked Frodo to the marshes and once again can't locate the ring mere feet in front of you.
Yes, because Frodo is not wearing the ring, that's why they cannot pinpoint it.
Mr. Frodo!
Also, a closed fist is enough to quiet a powerful magical evil ring.
Yes, because Sam's friendship took Frodo's mind away from the ring's influence. Are you paying attention?
Forest is old.
How old is it?
Very old.
So what's the problem with this? Would you rather this line did not exist, or is this critique attempt just another shit joke?
How the hell does this actually work? How did they not see them?
Deceptive editing, you fucking liar. The hobbits can't be seen because they are behind this fucking rock, you twat. And their elven cloaks are clearly magical. Are you fucking dumb?
Wow, the flag waited until the perfect moment to break her spirit.
Yes, not a sin.
I guess Gandalf used a Jedi mind trick of some sort to make this guy forget that he was a wizard and that the walking stick was a magical staff.
No, you fucking idiot. The guard knows and lets him pass. See his face? Also, when the fighting kicks off, that same guard stops honourable Rohirrim men from taking Grima's side, because the guard knows Gandalf's magic has a chance of saving Theoden.
Gandalf clearly walks into the hall with his staff out in the open, and it's not entirely hidden as he continues to walk towards the king, but nonetheless it's a total surprise to Grima when Gandalf exposes his staff to show he means business.
Well, if you watch the scene, you'll see Grima is keeping eye contact with Gandalf. The actor doesn't even look down at Gandalf's staff, because Gandalf is faking a limp. Until the staff is shoved in his face, Grima thinks it's a walking stick, and also has no reason to think the Rohirrim cards would disobey his orders.
Told you to take the wizard's staff!
Is the staff the sole source of Gandalf's power? Didn't he lose the staff and fall with the Balrog for days and days and fight that demon with a sword?
As you'll see, Gandalf uses his staff for certain magic, but if you actually watch the fight with the Balrog, you'd see that Gandalf was just attacking with his sword. Yes, he imbued it with lightning, but the sword acted as the conduit. And this is clearly a different staff. How can you think these two staffs look the same? Are you an idiot?
This fall would kill some people and break bones in pretty much anyone except Grima Wormtongue.
I mean, I've fallen down a staircase before and didn't break any bones. But also, how do you know Grima didn't break any bones? Look, he's clearly in a lot of pain and can barely walk.
Enough blood has been spilled on his account. I
agree with the merciful Aragorn here. You shouldn't just go around killing dudes, but why should he be let go?
Let go? He clearly runs away.
Also, they didn't have to give him a f***ing horse, did they?
Give him a horse? It was either already his or he clearly stole it.
You have 2,000 good men riding north as we speak.
Does this look like 2,000 men? Where did Aragorn learn to count?
Or Éomer has more men elsewhere. Or maybe you're right, and this is another minor editing issue. Should we give you a point? Why not? Why not? You're 1 for 24.
When last I looked, Theoden, not Aragorn, was king of Rohan.
Yeah, well, last I looked, Theoden got his f***ing kingly mind all invaded by the evil sorcerer and shit, so maybe shut your pie hole and let someone who hasn't f***ed up lately do the planning.
Again, not a sin.
Aw, she thinks she's Mulan.
CinemaSins pads his runtime by making shit jokes cliché. No sin, twat.
It is a dangerous road to take.
Is there a place in all of Middle-earth except maybe the Shire that isn't dangerous when you walk through it?
Yes, but clearly there is war in the Riddermark. Have you been watching the movie?
treaty first.
Andy Serkis isn't getting nominated for an Oscar in this scene.
Why is that the movie's fault?
I realize marching to Mordor must be brutally boring, but none of these soldiers looks up to see the not really even hiding hobbits?
No, because they're in cover, and hobbits are really small, and they're far away. How is that a problem?
It's a useless love triangle in the history of plot.
But Eowyn likes Aragorn. Are single characters not allowed to be attracted to characters in relationships? Another wasted comment.
I'm pretty sure Legolas can shoot arrows faster than this, but I guess we need more time to get acquainted with the wargs.
But the scene with him shooting is shot in slow motion. Are you paying attention? Are you even watching properly?
You know, I believe a lot of things in these movies. Magic, talking trees, immortality, evil spirits. But in no way do I believe Legolas got on this horse in the manner depicted.
So Legolas is a magical being who is so light he can walk on snow. This action fits with the established lore, and if that breaks your immersion, you're a fucking clown.
Who the is that? That is not Gimli.
Are you... Dude, that's a random Rohirrim in the background. Gimli's right there, look, that's his shoulder, and that's his helmet, you fucking clown. You purposefully slowed this scene down to get a shot of this guy. How could you not see Gimli right here? You really think this is supposed to be Gimli on the back of Legolas's horse? My fucking god. This has to be a lie, right? You have to be purposefully lying about this.
Even in Middle-earth, horrible creatures bent on death would rather bark at you than try and kill you first.
So it just saw Gimli, and it's moving towards him with the intention of killing him. It's currently in the act of going to kill him.
For the third time in the series, and the second time in this movie, yet another character supposedly dies when we know full well he doesn't.
No, retard. He falls into a flowing river and washes away. Neither this or the Pippin scene were fake-outs.
Where is he?
He fell.
You had no chance anyway, cliché.
That's not a cliché.
Helm's Deep has one weakness.
Helm's Deep was built with the same flaw as the Death Star.
Or the Death Star was built with the same flaw as Helm's Deep. You are aware Lord of the Rings was written before Star Wars was even conceived, right? This is in the books. This wasn't invented for the films. You can't claim it's ripping off the Death Star.
Tens of thousands.
But my lord, there is no such force.
This is a great reveal for the audience, but you can't seriously be expecting me to believe that Wormtongue either lives in this tower or comes here every morning for work and has no idea there are tens of thousands of soldiers outside.
So, Wormtongue was clearly living in Edoras, you dickhead, and only recently has Saruman's Uruk production increased, so it makes sense that Grima is unaware of just how many Uruks Saruman has. You don't even watch the fucking movie.
He no longer cares for growing things.
Did this movie just turn into Fern Gully?
No, shut up.
Grieve you then, to learn that he is dead.
How does word travel fast enough for Faramir to know that Boromir died alone in the forest, but not fast enough for that message to also contain the words, by the way, don't kill or capture the two ring-bearing hobbits that were friends of your dead brother Boromir?
So no, there was no verbal message from Aragorn or anyone that Boromir died. Boromir's broken horn washed up on the shore, and the Gondorians assumed the worst. Faramir even had a dream of seeing his body. They didn't get a verbal message of his death. Did you even watch the scene? How can you be so stupid?
Enter the Forbidden Pool bears the penalty of death.
The Forbidden Pool? Are you making this up as you go along?
No, that's not a sin.
It's Count Kristen Stewart.
This actor looks like someone else. No sin.
Well, that's a foul.
Another shit joke.
Wait, didn't we just see them do this already? I mean, I know Aragorn said hold after the old dude accidentally shot his arrow, but does hold mean don't fire? Or does it mean everyone put your bows down completely so that I need to give you an entirely separate command in order for you to raise them again?
Wrong again, retard. Only the men of Rohan have their bows drawn at this time. See here, the elves do not have their bows out. The men of Rohan ready their bows to shoot. But look here, oops. But look here, see, the elves still don't have their bows drawn. And the men of Rohan do. And you can see here the elven bows are still not drawn. See? The elven bows are still not drawn. Yeah, see here? Again, the elven bows are still not drawn. How can you be so stupid to think that the scene contradicts itself? How many times are you going to completely fail to comprehend a scene? And you said this so mockingly as well.
He's just now telling them this.
What's wrong with some final words of encouragement and assurance?
That guy must be half elf, half Wilhelm.
Yeah, no sin.
The Ents take forever to do anything. Why? Because the story's not ready for them yet, but it doesn't want you being all surprised when they show up later.
No, the Ent speed is not a problem. There's no problem with them taking their time to talk.
A long time to say.
Okay, so speak English then. All the Ents nodded when you made that "you aren't orcs" proclamation, so all of you understood that.
How do you know the Ents are fluent in English? Also, you're fucking wrong again. Only 2 Ents nod. See this Ent and this Ent. You know, look how many Ents there are. We don't see them all nodding.
You had one job, Legolas. One job.
Again, why do you keep failing to comprehend the scene? Legolas kills the Berserker and a different, clearly armoured Uruk takes the torch the final steps. You see? It's not Legolas's fault. There are so many Uruks, if Legolas kept killing the ones picking up the torch, it would eventually get to the bomb, and that's what happened here.
No one could possibly fall for the Aragorn might be dead routine at this point, but the movie keeps wasting time on it.
No, it's not another death fake-out. Stop it.
How does Treebird not know this? Don't the trees talk to each other? Wouldn't the Ents have gotten word that this was happening?
Finally! Holy fuck, finally a legitimate criticism. Yes, Treebeard should have known about this. You're 2 for 53.
Well, here we are at Helm's Deep the next morning. Where's that red sun that signals the blood spilling that Legolas was talking about?
So it's clearly past morning. It would be around 11 o'clock. You see, because the way the sun affects with the mountains around it, the sun has to rise pretty far before it gets into the valley. So it's past the red morning time.
This asshole probably still can't detect the ring.
No, he clearly does. Again, did you watch the scene? And that's it for 2 towers. You were 2 for 55. Those being, Eomer's men were less than 2,000, and Treebeard should have known about Saruman cutting down the trees. So, if we combine Fellowship and the 2 towers, you're 3 for 108.
When this ring was forged, it was made to withstand almost all destruction and apparently any mud and filth that was covering it just a minute ago.
Yes. After being held by a sweaty wet deagle, the ring is immediately clean and dry. But that could be explained by magic, so no point for you.
Powerful seeing stone thrown out of Sauron's tower so that Pippin can advance the plot through stupidity again.
No, not through stupidity. It is an object owned by a powerful wizard, and Pippin noticed it fall. Why is that stupidity?
Andy Serkis isn't getting nominated for an Oscar in this scene.
No sin.
There are stars all over the sky.
So, are you even looking properly? Because Legolas is looking up here, where there are clouds. Please stop fucking lying.
Oh no, who's gonna make the trip to Mordor to throw this thing in the fire? I mean, it must have similar powers to the One Ring if it can make Pippin try and steal it from Gandalf.
Or, again, Pippin clearly thinks it's something special having been owned by a wizard and wants to get a proper look at it. Why is his curiosity a sin?
Pippin doesn't remember that in Raiders of the Lost Ark that didn't work.
Character replaces object with another object. Sin? Shut up.
Frodo in the ring.
Oh no! What did he tell him?
He told Sauron nothing.
Oh, why was I worried?
You were worried because the scene worked in creating tension. Is that a sin?
Does Pippin know any more than Sauron does right now? Pippin doesn't know where Frodo is, or even if he's still alive. And he should know that Pippin isn't the hobbit he's looking for because Frodo has put on the ring several times and he has seen him.
But the ring bearer could change, and right now Sauron thinks it's Pippin because he's with Aragorn. Why is that an issue? Also, Pippin and Frodo do look similar from a distance, but maybe you're right, Sauron should recognize that Frodo isn't Pippin. But Pippin doesn't even tell Sauron his name, so how familiar is Sauron with hobbits to tell that Pippin and Frodo are different people?
Why should we ride to the aid of those who did not come to ours?
Oh my god, you asshole. Because the entire plot of the Two Towers, that's why. Your ass should be dead like 3 times over.
No, it's not a sin that Theoden questions giving aid to Gondor. Sure, he's not very nice, but that's not a sin.
You have the ring.
Seriously? Can Sauron not distinguish between seeing stone communication and ring communication? Don't you think he'd have the metadata to understand which is which?
Yeah, I answered this already, so no sin, bitch.
The elves are dicks.
Why? Their immortality and magic is waning. Are they dicks for leaving? Do you even understand the context? Clearly not.
It's pretty to look at, but Minas Tirith is definitely the least practical city ever built. It's basically chutes and ladders come to life.
No, you could critique that there is no surrounding farmland to feed the populace, but you're not smart enough to notice. I understand how a 21st century soylent being like yourself would not like to physically exert yourself to walk around the city, but that does not mean it's poorly designed, and calling it the least practical city ever built is objectively false.
Deny the return of the king.
Roll credits.
CinemaSins does a shit running gag cliche.
Sauron has yet to reveal his deadliest servant. The Witch King of Angmar. You've met him before. He stabbed Frodo on Weatherton.
So he's revealed his deadliest servant then, right?
No, as Gandalf just said, the Witch King was in the likeness of just a Nazgul, but now he's making himself known.
Also, even though no mortal can apparently kill him, he was easily fought off by Aragorn with a couple of waves of fire.
But we don't know what fire does to a Nazgul, and also, as you'll see, mortals can kill him.
Feel his blade.
Yet he can't detect you or the ring, even though you're literally 30 feet from the gate.
Because Frodo is not wearing the ring.
Are there really people just hanging out around the beacons just in case they need to get lit?
Yes.
A lot of these are on top of snowy mountains. Who's camping out in the very unlikely event they will need to light them? And who did they piss off to draw that job?
Like someone on fire watch in a forest, I'm sure the shifts are for a few weeks or months. How can you not even comprehend the idea of this?
Oh, there's another guy that's half man, half Wilhelm.
And?
Is there anything the Nazgul aren't afraid of?
So, they're afraid of water, fire, and this spell of Gandalf's. That's 3 things. Is there anything they're not afraid of? Just fuck off.
Almost false, but obviously wasn't going to fall cliche.
Is that a cliche? Ugh, no points.
The wizard. I will break him.
Well, unless he starts shining a light in your face or throws a glass of water at you.
See, you only named 2 things. Also, your commentary does not make it a sin.
Now that our places have been exchanged, that I had died and Boromir had lived.
I wish that...
Yes, but do we really give a shit, though?
We? Fuck off. I understand, through how fucking lazy you are, that you don't like these movies or characters, because you don't fucking pay attention, but that doesn't mean your failure to like characters is the movie's fault. Maybe you'd like Faramir if you paid a little more attention to the story.
Forgetting for a moment that there are no breadcrumbs anywhere on Sam's cloak during the argument, Gollum threw the breadcrumbs on Sam's back, not his front.
Yes, but this scene is about the ring's influence and Gollum's trickery. As I've said before, I don't like the inclusion of this scene, but again, you've failed to comprehend a potential real critique right in front of your face.
This is a pretty shot, but the logistics of getting up to this cliff and the reasons for holding this meeting in this location are questionable at best.
Calling it questionable is your best critique? Also, they didn't just climb that hill for that shot, you fucking idiot. See Gimli and Legolas where you are now? Where Aragorn and Theoden are standing is where they're making camp. As you should see. So see here? That's the camp down there where the regular soldiers are, and up here is the camp for the nobility. This cliff face here is where Theoden and Aragorn were standing. They didn't climb up here just for the shot. They climbed up here because they're fucking making camp up here. Pay attention.
He's restless.
What are you, the narrator?
No, he made an observation.
Oh, I see. There's a road here. The existence of which totally makes sense.
Yes. It's an old road that, guess what, leads somewhere. Where does it lead? From the bottom of hill, where the regular soldiers are camped, to the plateau, where the nobility are camped. You fucking idiot. Clearly that's why they chose to camp here, because there was a road up to this plateau.
Give you what you see.
But I hear Faramir's single.
Not a sin.
It's because he must.
And there's no reason telling you why he left, because quite frankly, I can't believe it either. But if you must know, he's summoning a ghost army to help us.
So, as you said, you can't believe it either. So no sin for Aragorn not telling all the men why he left.
The only horse to return to the main gate after the slaughter just happens to be dragging Faramir's body.
A coincidence, yes, but no points for you.
He needs medicine, my lord.
How the fuck does he know?
Because he can see him breathing?
And if so, why is he the only one that can figure this out?
Is he the only one? Denethor is currently going mad and is not listening to reason. Have you been watching the film?
You would think with that kind of destructive power, the siege of the city would be pretty quick, but nope. It goes on for hours and hours.
Are you stupid enough to think the Gondorians would consider surrendering? The siege goes on because the orcs don't break down the main gate or the main outer walls. Please actually watch the movie.
Abandon your post!
Oh, so this is the moment when Denethor's gone too far.
No, clearly Gandalf only just started to hear what Denethor was shouting and took him out as quickly as possible. Pay attention. When Denethor starts screaming, Gandalf is nowhere to be seen up here, so he obviously came as quickly as possible.
Prepare for battle!
Also, Gandalf wasn't around anywhere when they dragged Faramir into the castle, but then shows up just in time to beat Denethor with his staff?
As I just said, Gandalf came as soon as he heard Denethor. That's not a sin.
I guess Gollum can just fall hundreds of feet down a mountain.
Hundreds of feet? Don't lie, you just saw it. Look, here he is, and he disappears from view after only about 50 feet.
This battering ram is truly awesome. It's a feat of imagination, but wow, someone actually thought to spend way more time on this than necessary. Let's make it huge, and then we'll carve it into a wolf, and let's put a fiery stove in its mouth.
Yes, and clearly the fire is there to have an effect on the doors by burning and weakening the wood. See? Why are you not paying attention to what you're showing on screen?
Let me get this straight. So, after Gandalf knocked Denethor unconscious, no one decided to get Faramir any medicine? They didn't just leave him outside in the White Tree Court, did they?
No, Denethor was with him. And mad, remember? He's not listening to reason. There could not be any medicine brought to him.
Arise! Arise, riders of Theoden!
How many people of Gondor do you think died in the time Theoden was giving this speech?
None. If you were paying attention, you'd see that the orcs stopped attacking Minas Tirith and turned their focus to the Rohirrim once they arrived. Can you stop fucking lying?
Jeez, this is taking forever.
This movie is long. Fuck off. You could have stopped making this shit review at any time.
No giant CGI elephants were injured in the making of this scene.
No somethings were injured in this running gag cliche.
Between the Nazgul and his prey.
Nazgul refers to himself in the third person.
Nazgul is not his name, you idiot.
I know.
Well, nobody's stopping you at the moment. If you keep talking, though.
He's clearly currently choking her. He is killing her.
I am no man.
Well, good for Eowyn. Good for gender equality. But her triumph was totally made possible by A, the Nazgul's stupidity, and B, Mary's leg stabbing.
Yes, and? Also, it's not the Nazgul's stupidity to be trying to kill her by choking her.
I think Eowyn is a badass woman and deserves praise, but she totally deserved to kill this asshole without assistance so that this line has more power.
Wow, that's a fucking new one. Mary should not have saved Eowyn's life because she is a girl boss. Get fucked. You are such a soy bitch. This scene is bad because Mary helped.
It would feel great relief that the Witch King is dead, but he never really did anything of note in the entire trilogy except stab Frodo's shoulder.
He just killed Theoden, and potentially thousands through history. You are so fucking stupid.
I think everyone from the Wilhelm line died in this trilogy.
Yeah, no sin.
Oh, hey, I'm a hobbit. I take 12-inch steps, and I'm just gonna waddle out the front door of Minas Tirith. Oh, what's this underneath a dead orc? My best friend in the entire world?
So, clearly he's deep into the battlefield at this point. He didn't just find him immediately. Let's have a look and see ourselves. So, Pippin quickly finds Merry's cloak. Oh my god. Holy fuck, you fucking liar. Look at this. Pippin finds Merry's cloak when Éomer finds Éowyn, but it's not until much later, when it's dark, that Pippin actually finds Merry. And see, Pippin only finds Merry because he spots his big hobbit feet. You are such a scummy liar. Such deceptive editing.
In Middle-earth, you can always rely on the infighting of bad guys.
Yep, not a sin again. More dumb commentary to pad the runtime.
Come on, I know it's a nice surprise that Sam has the ring in his pocket, but there's no way he would have been able to cut the webs from Frodo's neck, then grab the ring and the sword all before the orcs came down to take him.
Again, you tried to deceptively edit this, but Sam definitely had time, you liar.
In fact, when the orcs do take him, there's no sign that the webs have been cut or moved in any way.
Though I will give you the undisturbed web. However, because you lied about the time, no points.
Many of them.
Yeah, why didn't any of these millions of soldiers get sent to Gondor?
Because they're on their way, or their reserves? Can you try and think about potential situations before just coming to the wrong conclusion? You always do this. You always just assume the worst and say something absolutely stupid.
It's passed beyond my sight.
Interested in learning more about Gandalf's sudden ability to see great distances? Well, f*** you.
No, fuck you. Why do we need to know more? Surely then you just complain about exposition dumps, cunt.
Blind to all else that moves.
A diversion.
Man, Legolas is useless when he's not fighting. He's like...
So what's wrong with him clarifying the situation? Do you realize how much you've complained about not being able to comprehend events? And this goes back to what I just said. You complain about Gandalf not going into more about his long vision, but now you're complaining about Legolas clarifying the situation. What's wrong with you?
Sauron fails at Blue's Clues. He's right in front of you!
Yes, but Frodo falls down just in time. Did you not watch the scene?
You'd think this might be a good time for Gandalf to use his magic light power again, but no, he doesn't.
Again, another lie. His staff is broken. Are you being malicious, or did you just forget?
Eagles! The eagles won't fly over the lands of men for fear of being shot down by arrows. But now they have no trouble flying all the way to the motherfucking Black Gate of Mordor, where orcs and Nazgul and Sauron live.
Yes, because this is the final battle in good versus evil. Of course the eagles would help in this world-ending threat. Because if they don't, then they'll die anyway when Sauron wins. What's the harm in helping the allies win if their potential outcomes are either potential death or guaranteed death?
Why didn't Sauron seal off the entrance to Mount Doom with a few well-placed boulders?
Because Sauron has no idea of the plan to destroy the ring. The whole point of the Ringbearer's plan to sneak into Mordor is that Sauron would never expect someone to destroy the ring, and instead expects any Ringbearer to succumb to its effects. That's why secrecy is so important. Because if Sauron even suspected their plan, every orc in Mordor will be sent to defend Mount Doom. That's why Pippin picking up the Palantir is a good thing and not stupid, as Sauron now thinks Pippin has the ring and sends his forces after him, drawing Sauron's ire away from Frodo's potential route into Mordor.
Why does this place still have a convenient walkway where you can throw rings and incriminating photographs into the fires below?
I guess it's convenient, but not a sin.
Fault stops right where the good guys are, and I guess they knew they were safe because they didn't move an inch.
I guess it's convenient, but for how much you lie and fail to comprehend things, I'm not gonna give you this point.
These guys died still not knowing exactly where that ring ever was.
Again, not a sin.
Okay, now it's over, right? Fade to black, the ring...
Oh no, you're not gonna say the ending is too long.
It's destroyed, everyone's reunited.
Oh no.
Alright, well this is clearly the end. Pulling back to the map, closing narration. Okay, give the hobbits their little return to town, have some drinks, sure.
How do you pick up the...
Holy shit, this movie refuses to end!
It is time, Frodo.
Frodo springs this just as he's about to get on the boat to the Grey Havens. Frodo's a dick to friends.
It's clearly a hard choice for him to make. He's unsure whether he really wants to.
Okay, surely now we're done. Frodo and everyone else is on the boat, hobbits are crying, sun is setting, music swells. Oh my god, you whores!
So, you attempt 5 sins for the ending being long. It's not even 18 minutes in a 4.5 hour movie, just calm down. Also, what's your problem with seeing Aragorn being crowned king, with the hobbits meeting Bilbo, and then returning home? What's wrong with Frodo going to the Grey Havens? What's wrong with Sam being happy in Bag End? What's wrong with you?
How's it even possible to build a house where a hobbit still has to duck to get through the entrance?
So, that's the way houses were built in the past, with small doors to keep in as much warm air as possible. That's not a sin. And there we are. None of your attempted 66 critiques were valid, so overall, for the whole trilogy, you made 3 valid critiques out of an attempted 171. That is terrible. To remind you, the valid critiques were Sting not being blue in Moria, Aomer's small number of men, and Treebeard should have known about Saruman. Hopefully this video has demonstrated that CinemaSins is a lying clown. It's such a dumb thing to say, and I can't believe I'm going to say it, but with all your bad faith interpretations and blatant lies, you're watching movies wrong. Lord of the Rings is just too intelligent for you to understand. I am fascinated with how you create videos, like, how can you be so confident and so wrong? He may be one of the worst critics on YouTube, but don't harass him. Well, you all know not to do that anyway. This was a lot of fun and a lot of pain. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. I'm not sure if I'll do a CinemaSins video for a while. It was just very lucky that this one sort of fell into my lap. And I don't know if I'll get so lucky as to find one that is as terrible as this, or that I care so much about.
Jonah.